Hello, all my tiger streaks out there. How are you today? Yes, hello, calling all my tiger streaks, calling all my tiger streaks. Thank you for joining me for another episode of In the Cage with the Tigress. Hello, all my tiger streaks out there today. How are you? Mwah, mwah, mwah. How are you doing with another week of quarantine? Well, I hope that most of my tiger streaks still have a smile on their face as these next few weeks, especially for the United States where I'm from. I'm living in Germany now, for those that don't know. Um, but it's going to be, these next couple of days are going to be, or next few weeks are going to be really challenging. And so, my show here, In the Cage with the Tigers, I just want to make sure that I'm giving my Tiger Streaks the best information that I feel could be useful during this time frame and things that have been working for me. And so, as opposed to my regular topics that I normally would be talking about, I think that these are more important. And I wanted to go over some things again. I know that we went over some things last week, but just some pointers that I wanted my Tiger Streaks, you guys, to think about during this time, especially my Tiger Streaks over in the States, because every country that is receiving or getting hit rather by this virus is getting hit differently. So I don't know if Germany is going to get hit just as bad as New York. But looking on the news, it doesn't look that way. And so I'm real concerned about my Tiger Streaks and my family, my friends over there. And I just want to make sure that my Tiger Streaks everywhere and all of my viewers are prepared. So what I wanted to go over is just making sure that you're having things in check. And helping you to get through this time frame of being in quarantine, which can be challenging both for if you live by yourself like me, or if you live in a house full of people. But the first tip that I wanted to give you as far as getting through this process, or if I had to title this show, would be Getting Used to Your New Normal. That's what this show would be, Getting Used to Our New Normal. So I found that the first thing to be useful is getting up. I think that the shock of everything that is happening to us just so suddenly, so quickly, people have lost their jobs, people have seen their savings just evaporate in the stock market. It's just like, a lot of shocking things that are happening right now. And I think that even the number that was shown the other day, as the medical professionals are saying 240,000, I think the number is going to be a lot higher than that. But I want you to be prepared in the process of all of this, because without a plan, well, you know what they say, without a plan, right? You fail, right? So let's at least have a plan and a way to be able to safely get through this. They talked about face masks. I think the World Health Organization talked about putting face masks on. And the thing that I just wanted to make sure that my followers know is that, yes, definitely wear a face mask if you're going to go outside. But just know that it doesn't make you Supergirl or Superboy. You know what I mean? You can still get the virus. It's just to protect you from contaminating other people in case you're sick and don't even know that you're sick. So, yes, wear the face mask. Okay? What other? Creating a routine is so important. I kind of got out of order, but creating a routine for yourself while you're quarantined in the house is going to be paramount. I found in getting through my weeks here, I've been in quarantine for at least going on my 4th week here in Berlin. And so for some of my people there in the States that have been doing it and just now, maybe for a week or two, yeah, I think buckle down, because it's going to be a minute And I think it's going to be a longer time than what they're saying on the news or whatever they're saying on TV, maybe because they don't want to create panic in the area, so they gotta lock it down slowly. But I think that especially over in the States, you guys are going to be locked down for a minute. Again, I'm here in Germany, and I don't quite know. I'm not seeing as much images on the news as I see with other countries, but the death count seems to be very low here. But that being said, creating a workspace for yourself, I think is very important. So getting a routine, creating a workspace for yourself that is away from the bed would be helpful. So if you are someone like me that lives by myself, I have the option to come upstairs. I have 2 levels in my apartment. I can come upstairs and make this my workspace, or I can come away if you're in a situation where you're maybe renting a room. Well, at least make your workspace your desk and not your bed. Okay, get out of the bed. That's important. All right. Trying to help y'all get through this. And so I'm telling you that these are some of the things that are helping for me. So I'm hoping that they're helping for you too. Another good tip that I heard on TV was putting away cash, money. So whether it be my fan base over here in Europe where you have euros, or in the United States where you got the USD, put some cash money away. And don't just leave it all in the bank. I'm not saying run to the bank and go take everything out, but at least have a few emergency dollars if you could. If you can put that away, especially when people have lost their jobs like they have. But if you can manage to store something away, put some cash away, especially in times like this that are so unpredictable, and you don't know, what could happen. As far as the economy is concerned and whatnot. So you always want to make sure that you have some emergency cash on hand, as much as you can put away. Like I said, people have lost their jobs on the spot, especially over these last couple of weeks, so that could be hard. Another good tip that I picked up was, when you do go shopping, make sure that you're shopping for non-perishable items like rice and beans and things. And so when you go shopping, don't hoard, but when you go shopping, pick up an extra bag of rice, or pick up a few extra bags of beans, or even if you don't eat canned food, you might want to think about during this time to store, a good, a few cans of variety of things. So think about that going through this time frame. I just want my followers to be prepared, because I think that we are going through something that several generations hasn't seen for a long time, or anything close to I think what we're getting ready to see as far as death and things of that nature, we haven't seen since the Spanish flu, which was 100 years ago. So it's been several generations, and I'm watching the news very carefully, and I'm seeing people with that look on their face, like the spring breakers, that they're saying, oh shit, it is real. Like, yeah, wake up. And I've been here in Germany, watching the news, different countries and different things like that. And I can't believe that in certain areas of my country, they're still debating about whether they want to freaking tell the citizens to stay in the house. It's like, so, purchase non-perishable type of foods like rice and beans. Make sure you have those things in your house. Can be useful. And I know this seems grim and nobody likes to talk about it, but because of the way that this virus is hitting people, where you can't visit your family member in the hospital if they get sick, and it's attacking people so quickly, where I'm hearing stories where people are saying, well, one day I felt fine and the next minute it felt like a building fell on me. You know what I mean? So in that type of situation, you don't want to be one of those individuals that unfortunately doesn't make it through if you get infected with the virus. You want to make sure that you have your will in order. You want to make sure that you have like a living will and your regular will. What do you want to do if you're, if I don't know, like in New York, they've already told the ambulance drivers to, if they can't find a pulse at the location, to not transport them to the hospital. So you have to think about these things, my followers. I want you to be very mindful and awake of what's going on, and because I think that people were not taking this serious as serious as it should be taken, and I want to make sure that my followers are at least well prepared. And so as I find the information and I think it's useful, or at least it's helpful for me, I'm going to share it with you guys as well. And I hope that you find it useful, and me not wasting your time. So yes, think about, even though as morbid as it may seem, you want to think about doing well, or living well. Make sure that you have your emergency contacts in place, so that if you do get sick and things drastically change quickly, that people know, who to contact in case something happens. You don't want anything to happen. And yes, it's probably true that 80% of the population is going to be okay, but then that 20% equates to a very big number. And of that 20%, there are a lot of people, especially in my country, that have underlying problems like asthma and compromised immune systems, not just being old. So, I want you to be prepared. And also another thing to be prepared for that I don't think people were paying much attention to, but I want you to pay attention to, is your mental health. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're probably going to see on TV and online that we're not used to seeing, especially like for real, or not on science fiction or something like that. But this is going to be real, and you can already see some of the images that are coming out on people's phones of body bags coming out of the hospitals, going into the cold trucks, the big cooling trucks. And so this is going to be an image that I think that it's going to probably have a lot of people having a lot of what is called post-traumatic stress. And so think about your mental health, and how, your contingency plans about how you're going to deal with death or sadness or loneliness or anxiety or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to address those things, especially now, because, like, I don't think that we've seen anything like close to this as far as catastrophe is concerned, since the Spanish flu, which was, like I said, about 100 years ago. And so we have a double whammy that we're dealing with as far as health and economics. So, because when we finally do get this flu, not the flu, but the virus under control, then we got to deal with how to deal with the economy afterwards, and everybody trying to get their jobs back, if they can get their job back. And I'm hoping my situation is okay here, because I'm even worried. Every country is handling the situation differently, and I'm here on a 3-year visa. And I'm hoping that when things clear out, that I can go back to work. But you have to plan for the future, and plan that things may not go back the way that you think that they're going to go back. Because while it's going to be business as normal or usual, it's going to be on a new normal. And so, are you prepared for your new normal? And part of being prepared is accepting that this is what it is, and trying to make the best of a bad situation. And this is a bad situation, but in every situation, I want my followers to know that there's a silver lining in every situation. So just try to find that. Try to find the good in all of this that's happening, and try to see how you can shine your best in this situation. So again, as I try to find tips and different things like that I think are useful for you, I'll bring them to you. And I'm hoping that it will, at least get you thinking in terms where you may have not been thinking before. So yeah, think about your mental health. Think about, those things. Oh, and another thing I wanted to say too, that people don't often think about during times like this, is online security. People take advantage during times like this, so make sure that your passwords and things of that nature are up to date. and make sure that you don't get sucked into any of these scams that are not from a legitimate organization or site as far as donations and things of that nature. So, okay, my Tiger Streaks, I hope that you have taken my tips with a grain of salt. I hope that it was helpful for you. Until next week, 7 o'clock, Saturday, in the cage with the Tigress. I'll try again, like I said, to get as much information for you as possible to help you get through these times. All right, we're all in it together. Mwah. Love you.